Hello Internet, I'm David and this is the Pursuit Blog. Merry Christmas. You know, there's one thing that atheists get right when it comes to Christmas, and it's the idea that the phrase Merry Christmas is a loaded phrase. It really means something. I'll get to that in a minute. But I wanted to point out the fact that in our culture there is a just clear dichotomy between what we know and what we feel. We know in our heads that Christmas is about Jesus. But in our hearts, it's really about presents. There's nothing wrong with presents, but unfortunately it is very much tilted toward the present side of our understanding. And it just throws off everything. Christmas is about Jesus. But atheists get this right. You know, in the recent years, there's just been this controversy of whether or not we should say Merry Christmas or just Happy Holidays. They want Merry Christmas to be removed from anywhere that's public or government oriented. Why? Because they realize the impact of the phrase Merry Christmas. Christmas literally means Christ's Mass or Christ's festival, the festival that is celebrating the birth of Christ. Now some people think that Christ was just Jesus' last name, but that's not true. Christ is a descriptor. It is a descriptor of who Jesus is. Christ literally means coming one, Messiah. It is identified with the divine. So Christ is a loaded term. And I think it should be. And another term that is used in the Bible surrounding Christmas is Emmanuel, which literally means God with us. So when we are saying Merry Christmas, we are pointing to the reality of the Incarnation. We're telling people, I hope you are having a good time celebrating the fact that God came and dwelt among us. God became flesh. You know, other religions believe that their gods came and became human for various reasons, but the Christian God came out of love. The infinite packed himself into the finite so he could experience everything that we experience. You know, Jesus had to run for his life. He grew up in a lower middle class working family. His friends rejected him. He had to deal with the death of his stepfather. He had siblings who did not like him. Jesus came and wanted to experience everything that he could so that he could identify with us and go on to pay the penalty for our sins. It's like in the Chronicles of Narnia where Aslan had to give his life in exchange for Edmund, because that was the deep magic, if you will, that was set in place at the beginning of time. That's just the way the world works. God became one of us to identify with us, to help us, to save us out of love. Why would God experience so much hurt and pain? Allow himself to experience that if it wasn't because he so loved the world. So when you say Merry Christmas, realize that you are pointing to the reality of the Incarnation. You are telling people to celebrate the Incarnation, that God became flesh, that God dwelt among us, that God is with us. So yeah, I can definitely see where atheists think that's a loaded phrase, and I can see where they want to get rid of it, but I'm not ready to get rid of it, and hopefully you aren't either. For those that are celebrating other holidays around this time of year, I wish you well. But for me and mine, we're celebrating Christmas, and I hope you have a Merry Christmas. As always, let me know your thoughts in a comment or video response down below, and I will see you soon. God bless.